What's up, everybody? Welcome to the third and Longhorn postgame live show. This one's going to be a fun one. And for those of you that don't know, that didn't watch the game out there, and that better be none of y'all, Texas wins 17-7 over Texas A&M. Today with me, I got Jeremy Hills, Derrick Johnson, Alex Okafor. We're gonna have a little fun, do a little late night. Sorry for everybody, we were late. We had
celebrating.
We're celebrating.
We're celebrating.
It wasn't that one of us was late. It was we were celebrating for sure. But we're going to get into it, recapping Texas's win. Texas is now 11-1, 7-1 in conference, and we'll be playing in the SEC championship game next weekend. Texas A&M drops to 8-4 and 5-3 in conference.
Sounds about average.
Love saying that. And huge game overall for the offense. Played a fantastic game. 458 yards, 218 yards passing, and 240 yards rushing. But let's talk about the defense too. 248 yards allowed, 146 passing yards, and 102 rushing yards. And the defense allowed 0 points.
Right.
Hills, I'm gonna kick it to you. What do you got?
I don't know where to start. Right. When we sat here earlier this week and we talked about what it was going to take to win this game, we questioned how healthy Quinn was.
Yeah.
He answered that.
Yeah.
Right? Probably not. He was a little bit gimpy, but it was enough to go beat Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Right? We said we were going to need the run game on the road to quiet the crowd. I think we more than answered that.
Yeah.
Oak, you specifically said this is a defensive team and we need to put them in good positions. Other than two plays in this game, we did exactly that.
Yeah.
The way we ran our offense, you talk about complementary football, this is probably the first time all year for the most part
true. Yeah.
we played like the most complementary football. Our defense shut them down, and our offense sustained drives that allowed them to get rest, make adjustments, and then come back out fresh. And we just played like a clean complementary game other than two massive plays. You can't forget an assignment on punt team that put the defense behind, and they stood up, right? And then another thing, you can't throw a pick six, especially when you're on the verge of scoring points, right? So those two things are just big no-nos. You don't win that way whenever we're playing like championship level teams. But no,
I like that little slide there.
Let's not act like A&M championship level teams.
Yeah.
I agree. They were one game away from being in the championship.
I don't know how many times. Can we get somebody to look up for us how many times they went 8-4?
Yeah.
This is a down the road middle.
Yep.
This is who they are.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They just play us tough.
Yeah.
As tough as they can.
Yeah.
That's what they do. But they are an average franchise. That's
I agree.
What's going on over there. A lot of average and a lot of yelling from men in sailor suits. That's what they do. But anyways, we ran the football down their throat. We gave them their medicine today.
Yeah.
We gave them their medicine today. I want to say Wisner had almost 200 yards rushing. Was it 186?
Yep.
With a long of 22 on 33 carries. That means he didn't just break one long run to pad the stats.
Yeah.
It was a consistent dose of Wisner throughout the game. And what'd you start seeing late in the third, fourth quarter?
Defense got tired.
Hey.
Started leaning on it.
Lots of injuries.
I never seen so many injuries from guys that didn't get rolled up. It wasn't a bad tackle or nothing. My man's just laying on the ground tired.
Yeah.
Coach, I'm tired. Take me out.
Yeah.
Put somebody else
Help
in.
me up.
Right? So what I seen was a A&M tries their best to be bullies. They try to be more physical than us, right? And that's their whole thing. They go by. They say it was soft. They say all those, and they do a lot of stuff that's outside of just good sport. But what we did is, for the most part, we kept it in the lines, and we just played more physical than them.
Yeah, so true. I'll add to that. Now, you said everything. You didn't say anything that I would debate on. Texas it's clear that we're the tougher team. We're for real. And tonight showed that we should be in the SEC championship. Last year, everybody was talking about, man, is Texas ready? Even though we were back and doing our thing, everybody just had their doubts or whatnot. But I tell you what, Sark has done a great job with just making sure the guys are ready to play, game in and game out throughout the whole season. And tonight, Man, I was proud. Man. I had my hat on backwards watching the game, and it was just. I mean, from the defense side of the ball, I mean, Vernon, man, that's cool. He's just making money, man. NFL guys, NFL scouts love defensive linemen that are very disruptive in the pass game and the run game. He doesn't even have to make the play. But if I'm a guy, if I'm playing behind Vernon, I'm a happy linebacker because I know that he's shooting gaps. He's being disruptive in the backfield. Even if he's not making the tackle, I know that this guy is not going to cut this way just because Vernon is back there in the backfield. So to what he did tonight, it just showed you. And he's around a bunch of other guys that are dogs. So this ain't a team that we're just counting on Vernon. Vernon has a lot of superstars around him, and he seems to be a guy that wasn't talked about as much. He's a fifth-year senior or whatnot, but he came back to University of Texas making some money. And hats off to Quinn. Other than a couple plays, Quinn played his butt off, man. Didn't the line block for him? He didn't get touched. Maybe got sacked one time. But running the ball helps out everybody. When you can run the ball, you play actions work for you. You get better coverage in the back end where it's not a lot of people back there just because you got to stop the run. But Sark was in his bag today, man. He was just in his bag. And Trey, just like Jay Hill said, Trey's a dude, man. He's tough. I mean, all those runs, over 30 carries, and all of them are between the tackles. It's not no toss to the right, toss to the left. It's counter right, counter left, power right, power left, zone reads. I mean, it's all inside stuff, man. My hat's off to him, man. I can talk.
Hey, we got all day.
I'm just telling you, this is.
It was a lot of good.
I was gonna say,
this is easy.
It is
easy.
I was gonna say, let me get a piece of the mic on this one right here, man. No, I'm still excited. I'm over here sweating from the game, man. I'm still excited.
Put some work in. I think Oak had a tackle.
Man. Shoot. What was I gonna say? Going back to Broughton, man, we had a conversation before the show about Broughton, and what makes him so lethal is that he converts on pass so quick.
Yeah.
Like on those play actions, a lot of D linemen get stymied on those 50-50 downs.
Yep.
He's so quick to field pass and convert, flip his hips, get through. He is a weapon up the middle, especially in the pass game. This defense, we've said it week after week. This is a championship caliber defense. This defense is so good that the offensive play calling has to cater to this defense. That's crazy coming from Sark. That's crazy. But that's how good this defense is. The only way to score on it, you got to find points elsewhere. You got to find points in other phases of the game, whether it's special teams, whether it's turnovers. You're not going to be able to go up and down the field and score on us.
And they didn't score, right?
They didn't.
They didn't score.
They didn't. Offensively, man, I love this game plan. This is us. This is Texas, man. 200 on the ground, 200 in the air. Like, that's a winning formula. That could take us to the ship. That will take us to the ship if we can continue to do that. If we can run for 150 plus week in, week out,
I like that.
It's going to be hard to stop us from going to the championship. So,
yeah, I want to take a second to talk once again. Another week of people saying Quinn shouldn't play, Quinn shouldn't start, Quinn shouldn't this, Quinn doesn't have this, and the kid just comes out, plays so tough. You could tell he was banged up, but such a tough game. And can we talk about the pass to Matthew Golden? Yeah. Like, that was a dot. What a dot. Like, ridiculous. And the touchdown to Jaden Blue.
Pass to Blue,
Also, I did learn when, thanks to ABC and ESPN for showing the lyrics to the Aggie War Hymn or whatever.
Right.
Their entire existence
all about
based
us, the whole
on
thing.
Texas.
All about us, the whole
I had no. I mean,
the whole
I knew
thing.
some of the words, just from hearing them all those years.
And you can tell when they're putting the horns down and they're not putting their sign
I
up.
know,
And
they got
I'm
their
like,
own sign,
who are you? Like, are you just against us? That's all you want to.
That's their whole identity.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's a tough one. Yeah, and I saw CB posted since 1999. There's been 8 seasons where A&M's had 8 wins, and he said there's a bunch in there too where they had 7. So you're right, they're really climbing around there.
What we've seen is who they are.
Yeah.
We gotta stop giving them so much credit. we have to stop talking about that outfit over there like it's the boogeyman or anything remotely close to scary.
Yeah.
It is an 8-4 unit.
Yeah.
That just yaps a lot.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
They've got to be sick tonight, man. They've been in the SEC for 13 years now, have never made it to a championship game. We come in
there first year, bro.
year one.
How
Year
many
one.
Big 12 championships did they play for? It's the reason why they left.
We beat them on the way out and on the way
Beat
back
them on
in.
the way back in. Like, no, I get it. If I was them, I'd hate me too. Like, but when we talk about this game, I love the game plan. I absolutely love the game plan. From the first drive, right? We came in there, and our defense, first of all, our defense stood up.
Yeah, they did.
Our defense stood up because I got to give Marcel Reed his credit, right? That first drive, that young man, he was
I said we might have some problems.
I was a
after
little
that.
nervous.
Yeah, from the first. Now he's gonna learn as he gets a little bit older to actually like not. He's not working the field.
No, he's not.
He's playing
He's
play
not.
side hash to check down to run.
Yep.
Right. And the tough part about that, when we talk pregame show, the reason I wasn't necessarily concerned about him is because he's not going to out athlete us.
Yeah.
So when you can't out athlete somebody, you have to make the plays that are there within the scheme.
And that's just because we got a lot of speed. He's an athlete.
Yeah, he's an athlete.
Yeah.
He's going to be a great
no,
player.
no doubt
Yeah.
about it. But I'm saying you got trouble when you try to make a move on Colin Simmons, who's barreling down on you, only for Anthony Hill to be there.
Right, yeah.
Like you got trouble. You know, Sorrell running a beeline straight down the line, so you can't cut back. So now you're gonna try to race Anthony Hill to the edge, and now all of a sudden it's 2nd and 8, and you're a little bit more tired than you were. Like that's what's going to happen just because of how we recruited and athletes that we have on the field. But giving him his credit, he came out there that first drive, led him straight down the field. Ultimately, you know, I think a big play in the game was that first 4th down stop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then one thing that I think just answered a lot of questions early. And, oh my gosh, I almost started celebrating like we scored when it happened. Quinn shook off a defender.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
He shook off what would have been a sack. You know? Unfortunately, it's the play when my boy Banks gets hurt. But he shakes off this would-be tackler, escapes the pocket, hits the sideline, and has his longest run of the season.
He was more mobile tonight with a bum ankle than I've seen him all year.
right.
Like, he looked good in that pocket.
And I think he was like, I don't need to get hit. I need to get out of bounds because he angled himself out of bounds.
Yeah,
and if
he
he
was
would
like,
have
oh.
just kept going. I mean, dude, I don't know how far he would have gotten on that one, but it was, I mean, huge play by him. I mean, that shake off on that sack was so
And that's kind of, when you think about how he worked the pocket tonight, he did not, at times throughout the year, you've seen Quinn accept the L on the play.
Yep.
He tucks the ball and tries to find a soft landing spot. Tonight, it felt like if you're going to sack me, you sacked me because I'm looking to make this play. I'm looking to win this down. You know, and for the most part, he wasn't forcing the football. He was just looking to win that play. He was competing. I think that's what we were looking for. He was competing every single play. Every single play he was competing. And that's what I love to see. And you could just tell it was on his mind tonight.
Yeah, and when we talk about, because we've been giving the defense a lot of love, which we should. We got some more guys to even talk about. But the offense side of the ball with Sark, and we talk about the offense that we love, and, you know, running the ball, keeping it really balanced, giving Trey his due, having his Manning package.
Yes, that was fun.
That was fun. I like that.
I feel like somebody on the show talked about maybe we should have a running quarterback, and I can't remember. We'll have to look back and see who that was. I don't think it was, man. I think it was somebody else, and I can't. Anyway, we'll get past that.
But the Manning package, that's a good deal. Because guess what? Because now Georgia's got their whole Manning package deal that they have to do, that they have to get ready for. They got to take time from what Sark does with his regular offense. But guess what? That Manning package looks like a little Wildcat right now. It's really not, because he can do it all. So, I mean, you can get that mindset, hey, bring the safeties up. I'm telling you right now that, I mean, I'm not going to give away any secrets, but I just know that he has the whole playbook in his arsenal, and he can deliver, put it like that.
Imagine a Wildcat, right, as an offense. Like you're preparing for the Wildcat, but really it's like a future number 1 draft pick quarterback. Like, bro, what? Like that, right. That's not a thing. Yeah. That's not how that works. So, no, I love to see it. He got in on the action, came in, showed his athletic ability, got in the end zone. You know what I mean? I'm like, bro, this
solid to get that, to score that too.
That was a tough run. That was a tough run, man.
Very tough run. He not accepting going down, competing on every single play. I think, like, in a game like this, and honestly, we got another one coming up real soon. There's certain games where, you know, you can scheme and do this and that and the third, and you're going to have to. That's just football. But ultimately, you got to run and hit. Yeah. And we did that all night. It did not feel there was not one point in this game where I felt like we were losing the physicality battle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was there a play where A&M made a physical play? Yeah. But there was no point where we were getting punked.
No.
Dude, we dominated. We lost the third quarter 7-0, but we dominated that quarter. And had the ball
Up
the
and
entire
down the
time.
field.
Yeah.
Like,
Up
it was
and down.
beautiful.
Now, that's the one thing, right? When you're playing at a championship level, it's those small little things that ultimately, it's like the NFL. It's those small little things that ultimately determine a win or a loss. Go look at the NFL. Majority of the time, a game is going to be within 3 to 4 points. No matter if it's the best record in the league versus the worst record in the league, it's going to be a one-possession game. And when you look at the devil in those details, is usually third down conversions and red zone offense or defense. That ultimately, because you're not just going to get a plethora of turnovers and mistakes, and that's just not what happens. And honestly, you kind of see that at the championship level of college football.
Yep.
So what we're going to have to do a better job of is taking care of the football in the red zone. We leave here with points, right? We leave here with points.
We've been good at that, but that is true.
Yeah, I agree.
Going down the
We
stretch.
didn't score in the second half.
That's so true. Yeah.
So that's a big deal, and you're not gonna. I don't think you're gonna win in the playoffs like that. And but the funny thing is, with the parity this year, so many of these teams have had these slow games, not like this, but like games where they don't look like they're going to score a ton of points, so they don't look like who they quote are.
Yeah.
So it's been fascinating because I haven't seen anyone truly just put their foot on the gas and just completely dominate. Oregon's shown some signs of it.
Yeah.
But who else?
I mean,
has
go
done
back. Oregon had their struggles too. Go
Yeah.
back and look at Oregon, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, yeah.
I'm with you. All these teams are flawed.
Yeah.
All the teams.
Yeah.
are flawed. So
Everybody has a flaw. Ohio State showed today.
Yep.
Right? Ohio State lost the physicality battle today. They did. They got all. Ohio State has so much talent.
To one of our non-quality wins.
Yeah,
One
one of the non-quality wins. I forgot about that.
Yep.
You go back and look just last night, Georgia Tech and Georgia.
Yep.
Took them to the wire.
Yeah.
And what I'm talking.
that game was so frustrating.
Oh.
I was at home mad. Like,
Come on,
real
Georgia
anger.
Tech.
Like, mad.
But I'm saying, like you look at how they did it. I mean, they moved the quarterback around, and they had so much speed on the outside. They just said, "Catch us if you can."
Yeah.
For 4 quarters. Well, 4 quarters in 8 overtimes. Yeah. Right. But to y'all's point, every single team has a hole this year. I think of all the teams I've seen, we have the best defense,
Yeah.
front to back.
I'm with you.
And that right there, complemented with a run game and a quarterback that can just be who he is and taking care of the football. And then obviously you throw in our coaching staff that we have. We have one of the best coaching staffs now.
Oh,
We do.
It's incredible.
We
And
do.
it's like,
We do.
hey, this team, you don't accidentally go 11-1 in the SEC.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you don't accidentally go 11-1.
Yeah.
Let alone in the SEC.
Yeah.
It's been fun to watch this team get better in November. Like when it means the most, when games are a little bit more weighted,
Yeah.
week after week, we've gotten better this month. And it's been really fun to watch. This offensive line felt like they wasn't playing up to par earlier in the season. This was the line we were expecting, and they're firing at the right time. It's been a joy.
And I can't remember a time like recently where we've had a team that can shapeshift who they are. And this year, this team just morphs into whatever's needed for that game. Normally it's like, hey, we're this high-powered offense, or we're this, and we're gonna do exactly that this game. And instead it's been like we kind of read what's going on and then adjust to that. And I mean that's how you get through the playoffs, right? We're gonna be running into a bunch of teams now.
And I think Coach PK.
Cookhouse.
He needs more credit for this, just having this number one defense in the nation. You just look at the first drive, and usually the first 10, 12 plays, it's all scripted from the offense, and it's hard to stop them, right? You know, you don't get all up in arms if they move the ball on the first drive, but what happens? 4th and 1, 4th and 2. Barron Sorrell has the tight end right here. Rags him down like a rag doll and makes a play in the backfield. All right, now we got it. Now we quiet the crowd. The next drive, Taaffe gets the interception. I mean, it's we got guys from the front end. Makuba, God, like he was all over the field. His energy is great. He's not that big, but he comes like he goes at you like a heat-seeking missile, man. But this defense, this is with all that talent we got on offense, right? We can have a whole show about the offense. Our defense, this is a defensive team, and our head coach is an offensive guy. So I'm enjoying this. I'm really, really enjoying it.
To that point and Oak's point about this team getting better throughout November, 24, 17, 10, 7, 0. That's what your defense has given up the last 5 weeks.
Wow.
They've literally gotten better and better every single week. 24, 17, 10, 7, 0. Like, that's the performance they're putting on the field. They are playing lights out right now.
Does that, from an offensive
I'm
guy,
saying just
does
defense.
it help? I know,
Just
but,
defense.
but does that help you playing offense? Does that give you a little confidence that
Oh,
you?
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You playing free, and you have this level of like, I owe them. You know what I mean?
Like, let me get
like,
going.
I gotta get.
Yeah.
Like, it's no excuse. I owe them.
Whenever you have a dynamic defense, it gives the team a layer of protection, and I feel like that's what you're trying to say. We got to give credit to these D tackles. I haven't spoken on them much this year. Billy Norton, Tia Savea.
Man, I seen them.
And,
Man,
and
like-
Jermaine Lele too.
Jermaine Lele. So there was a crazy stat on the broadcast. We've only given up one run over 20 yards this season. Crazy. These dudes, like, you
What's
gotta,
all those leaky yards you was talking about earlier?
it was early in the season. We getting better, like I said. We getting better week after week. You just give me those numbers again. Give me them
24,
scores.
17,
Yep.
10, 7, 0.
Yep, the leaky yardage was with the 24.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But
That was the fighting Diego's, man.
But no, this D line is serious, and the D tackles deserve their credit, man. With a run defense like that and a running game that we put out there today, over 150, almost 200, that's the formula. That's us. That's Texas tough.
Yeah, well, let's dig in a little more on the defense too. I was sick for Baron Sorrell on that pick. And he wanted that one. That tip ball, he had that too. So, but he played a heck of a game. You mentioned a couple of his big plays. Obviously, Vernon Broughton got our defensive player of the game. I think that was a no-brainer. 8 tackles, 2 sacks, and just wreaking havoc the entire game. But also I heard on College Game Day, this was, I texted y'all, the most dynamic offense we've played so far, which I disagree with that, but I have no idea where that came from. But also, you heard continually people questioning how good our defense is because we still don't have any quality wins, and we haven't played anybody, even though all these teams have taken down all the top teams in college football. But to go out there and hold this team to 102 yards rushing, and a team that's been running the ball pretty well. Marcel Reed ended up with 14 carries for 60 yards. He was their leading rusher at that one really long 24-yard run. But Amari Daniels, who's a good running back, by the way, 13 carries, 21 yards, 1.6 yards a carry. He couldn't get anything. Their top receiver, Terry Bussey, 2 catches, 40 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, their stat line's just anemic. There's nothing.
Yeah.
And they forced 2 fumbles on Marcel Reed. Obviously, lost one on Trey Moore's hit, and Vernon Broughton got it. But just, I mean, that thing's a masterclass. Like, Kwiatkowski, a man who's taken a lot of heat in his few years here, he's a beast.
Well, when you can have a system, and Oak knows this, when you can be in a system for a while, it's his 4th year in the system, man, it works. It really works when everybody buys in. And this just tells you that we got big-time players and tough players, from the defensive line to the linebackers to the DBs. I mean, everybody's making plays. We've been digging into our depth. We've been having a little bit of an injury bug or whatnot. We have to play a few other people, but everybody can play. Everybody can play. This just tells you the depth that we have and just the recruiting that Texas puts out there. And this is just going to keep on going. We're going to get more and more because we're winning games like this on national TV, and everybody knows that Texas is tough. Texas is for real, and Texas means business.
They said the average ticket price for this game was over $1,000.
Wow.
Highest that it's been in any sport, college, any football since like the 2009 or 2011 or something like that. Everybody's tuned in to watch this one.
Yeah.
Everybody's tuned in to watch this one, and that's the performance you put out there. On rivalry weekend, the primetime game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You think people were watching Oregon, Washington? I don't think so. Like they were watching Texas A&M, right? So with the world watching, that's how you perform tonight.
I'll say, going back to DJ's point about the guys knowing the system, PK being here for a while, the guys being able to learn multiple years, it's showing up in the turnover column.
Yeah.
Like, turnovers are forced by being in position and knowing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like, when fumbles.
I had to smile on that. That's it.
It is.
That's
You
it.
like you don't force a fumble being out of position.
No.
When you're out of position, you're making a shoestring tackle. You're barely getting them on the ground.
Yeah.
When you're in position and you can make a play on the football, that's confidence within the scheme.
Yeah.
That's being in the right place, knowing your assignment, knowing the nuances of the defense. That's why these guys are playing so fast and they're out there hunting. There's a difference just being out there and actually hunting.
Yeah.
And this defense is hunting for that football.
Yeah, it's not a coincidence that things are happening for them.
Yeah.
This is planned well, and they're executing every time.
Yeah, well, we're recapping number 3 Texas's 17-7 win over number 20 A&M. I'll say number 3 Texas, soon to be number 2 Texas. For sure by next week. You guys, we see all the comments coming in. Thanks everybody. We are going to get to those, so keep sending those in. We'll cover those at the end. We gotta go into the offense and gotta go into the special teams a little bit too. But let's talk offense, right? I mean, everything's centered. We talked about Trey Wisner. Trey Wisner, just an absolute monster game. 33 carries, 186 yards, his long of 22. He's obviously our offensive player of the game. Yeah. But also shout outs to Quinn, 17 of 28, 218 yards, 1 touchdown and 1 pick, and obviously 1 fumble. But held it down was the general. Matthew Golden, 3 catches, 73 yards, averaged 24 yards a catch. And let's give it up for Gunnar Helm, who made some tough catches.
He made some plays,
that dude's just looking to leap over people.
He can't help himself.
He knows. Man, Gunnar is Oak size, man. He knows. He really is. 9 times out of 10, you're not trying to hit him high.
Yeah.
The one time where he caught the little out and he turned up the sideline and they hit him high. It went for like 9 more yards and he never fell.
Yeah.
They not going to try to hit him high, man. They doing the right thing diving at his leg.
Yeah, I was happy to see Wingo back in there. 2 catches, 49 yards. 49 yards. You could totally tell that Bond is still he's still hurting. So, I think especially on that the one pass from Quinn that like he didn't even try to come back on the route, but that's at least what it looked like. But we need to get him healthy, and I think that's going to be obviously the biggest topic this week is going to be the health of Texas, getting Quinn healthy, figuring out what Kelvin Banks' status is. Hopefully he's all right. I did see that he was in a walking boot, so he did have weight on it. That's a good thing, but we'll see. A little worried about that one. And then Trey just needs to sit in an ice bath for about a week.
We talk about the receivers, right? We've been talking about Trey Wisner this whole time, but you talk about the receivers. Matthew Golden's been showing up like each week. Now, numbers not crazy, but he's been showing up efficiently. Gunner's been, pretty consistent, been a game changer. He's made him some money. He'll be, second round. I don't know where he's going, but he's going to be. I'm telling you, before the year started, scouts probably didn't know his name. Absolutely. I just know they didn't. Now he's at the top of people's board, so he's made him a lot of money this year. You got Ryan Ringo, that's always ready. He doesn't catch the ball every game, but we know his ceiling is so high, being a young guy. But Quinn this just tells you, even though Bond's our guy, our number one guy, we got other guys that can get stuff done. So we're not hanging our head on one guy. That again, this is recruiting. This is the depth that we have, and this prolific offense that we have through Sark. It's just getting better and better. And we're changing our identity throughout the season, which is pretty cool, because when you get to the end of the season, you don't really change to more of a running team, but we are, which is, we're down running backs, but we're really not. Trey's just kind of stepping up, saying, "Hey,
Trey stepped up."
Yeah, I'm the guy, which we need.
You need a guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Then you have Blue that can come in and give us a break when it comes to having explosive plays. That catch on that's
the concentration.
No other running back in the room does that.
Yeah. He's wide receiver level.
Not many running backs in the country doing that.
Yeah,
I was gonna say I wish Rod was here, because that was the pony package. That's his baby. That's his baby.
That's it. Every week, man. Love that. But adding to that, I think people y'all know I'm from Houston. I was watching U of H all throughout last year. I think y'all forget Matthew Golden was a number 1 last year and was going crazy.
Yeah,
that's
against us.
Crazy on us.
Yeah,
that's why we went and grabbed him.
Yeah.
So coming here and saying that we down a number 1, as in we don't have an. I'm like,
no, we got a number.
No,
one.
we got 2 number 1s, maybe more.
Yeah.
And what does a number 1 do? big play down the field, over his shoulder, behind the corner, in front of the safety. What does the number one do? Take a 6-yard hitch route and turn it into a 20-yard gain. Like, we got a number one.
Yeah.
We just, one of our other number ones is down right now. Like, we have, like, Kirk was on the air talking about it a lot, and I'm just smiling ear to ear. He's like, Texas has an embarrassment of riches right now. Like, look around. Like, he was from Helm to Golden to Wingo to Blue out the backfield to Wisner toting the ball to then obviously Isaiah Bond, and you're like, more. It's like, I'm like, hey man, we got guys that prove to me that you got that many DBs to cover and a linebacker that want to cover this guy out the backfield. Like, prove to me you got that, because we know what we have, right? And that showed up tonight. I really, I'm kind of happy that this wasn't I wish it would have been the blowout that it should have been, but now that I know it's not, I know they got to get back in the film room. It was some stuff. We left some points on that field. We left points on that field. But as far as just like looking at the product that we put on the field, I'm so happy. Like, that product right there can go win.
Well, and I think that was good for, if we are going to make a championship run, you need games like these, and you need to watch how you need to figure out how to respond to moments like that and pressure on the road. Like, that was a big boy win today.
I'm okay with this win. Like, I'm okay with putting up 20 to 28 a game, because I know our defense gonna hold them down to a touchdown or less.
Yeah. There's no such thing as style points left now. Like, every game we play, style points don't matter.
I agree.
Like, now we're in the playoff. So style points are not a thing. So you just go out and play football and win. I don't care how we do it.
And I've been hearing a lot of people, or seeing a lot of people saying, "Oh, we're in the playoffs anyway. Next week don't really matter."
No.
It matters.
It matters.
It wasn't worth
It matters.
throwing the dice.
It matters. It's now. Is it a must win where you say, do or die? No, but do we need to win and play well? Absolutely.
If you just
and that will happen
from a strategic standpoint, right? Take away the fact that I know they want to go win this SEC championship, and we got to get our get back. Like,
that's what I'm on.
Right.
I'm on.
We need our
playoffs
get back.
gonna happen.
We need our get
we need
back,
our get
and
back.
we need the SEC
we didn't play.
championship.
Yeah, we didn't play.
But I'm
well.
just saying, strategically, looking at the way that these brackets are shaking out, do you want to be a 2 seed with a bye, or do you want to be hosting a playoff game, in round one, and got to put? You talk about we want to see a Texas team get healthy, earn the right to get a break.
Yeah,
earn the right to get a break. You want to get healthy.
That's a good point.
And that's got to be the message too,
for sure.
Yeah.
Man, I love it. Well, we got to get a little bit into the special teams. I think that was
rough
a little bit of a speed bump on the highway here. But Bert went 1 for 2, nailed the 28-yarder, but could not hit the longer one at the end of the half. That one would have been big. It was 2 for 2 from extra point. Michael Kern had 3 punts and averaged 40. Obviously, the block was tough, and for two of the most dynamic returners, we have not seen it. We've seen little bits from Silas, little bits from Matthew Golden, but I want to see that because I know that's in there. But yeah, that's some stuff we got to clean up there. We won't spend too long on that, but penalties and turnovers, I think, is a great conversation to have. We ended up with 5 penalties for 25 yards.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
fairly clean game.
Yeah.
Very clean.
Fairly
A&M
clean
had
game.
6 for 60.
Think about it. They all week we've heard about that atmosphere, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I might be wrong here. I can only remember one pre-snap false start.
Yep.
Yeah.
One.
I can only remember one, and it was on the backup tackle.
Yep.
Yeah, it was on
I can't complain about him because that boy stepped in.
Props to Trevor
He
Gooseby.
played some ball.
Yeah.
But that was the only penalty that we had pre-snap that was, a controllable. So to say, we sat in these chairs and talked about how do you overcome that noise. We talked about going on silent, mixing up the cadences, et cetera. They did everything they needed to do to neutralize that crowd.
Yeah.
Get out in front, stifle that offense, don't give them much to cheer about, and stay consistent, stay on schedule. And so you talk about the penalties, and I'm like, the penalties that happen while you playing football, especially in a rivalry game, I'll take those. The ones that we really just have to eliminate are the ones where we're shooting ourselves in the foot, like that one. One?
Yeah.
At the College Station atmosphere, that one?
Yeah, and looking at that stat, that can't be right because that's 5 yards of penalty, and we had Colin got the 15-yarder at the end. So maybe these stats were before the game was done. But
Yeah, I just to add, I love how chippy it was. I don't know how about y'all,
Yeah.
but I like the noise talking. I mean, we can't hear them, watching the TV, but
We know body
when
language.
their head
We
is
know
going.
body language.
Well, yeah, we know their head
know
going
body
back and forth. You like, oh, they
he
talking
getting
that
it off right
noise.
now.
Yeah,
I know. Listen, I know two things. I know two things. I know when Ant Hill looked at they sideline and did this, he wasn't saying, "Where are we gonna eat after this, guys?" I know that's not what he was saying. Okay, I know that's not what he was saying. And the second thing, you talk about the chippiness of it. I'm like, that's a part of because like again, man, there's certain teams that it's just an intimidation factor. And I think they put up a crazy stat. Kirk was talking about it again. Herstreet, he's talking about it on the broadcast. He's like, if A&M scores first, they're like 50-something and whatever. And when they don't score first, they're 11-11.
Oh wow.
This team is down the middle average as far as somebody punching them first
Yeah.
and responding.
Oh,
They are 11-11.
that's a good stat.
You know what I mean? And what we did was exactly that. And I think that the chippiness, it come with it. It come with it, right? So there was not a player in this game that had experienced this rivalry before.
Yeah.
And so, and what like we talked about in the week, this is that game where it's not it's not a respect. It's not the OU game where it's I'm gonna keep it real. It's not a I don't think you all that. I don't think you nice with it. I think you okay.
I put them all in the same boat.
Yeah, it's just like like I said, I know you hate me, I hate you too. And that's what this was. And you got a chance to see that play out throughout the game.
Right.
The safety they got, Lee, I think he did more WWE wrestling than he did extra plays. But the refs, to their credit,
They let 'em play.
They let them play. And that's all I always say is, however you gonna call it,
Be consistent.
call it like that.
Yeah.
And the refs decided early in the game, we're going to let them go out in the backyard and
Yeah,
figure it out. And that's what they did.
And what I loved about it too is coming into the game, one thing that I was concerned about was, do our guys know what they're walking into? Like, man, we was ready for the moment tonight. And that goes out to the preparation from the coaching staff. Like Jay said, none of these guys have ever experienced a rivalry like this. For this to be the first one that these guys have played, it looked like they were seasoned.
Yeah.
Like this looked like the fourth one for a lot of those dudes, man. They rose to the occasion and they looked the moment in the face.
Well, we joked about that in the preview show that for Texas A&M this was the rivalry game, and for Texas this was game 12, and it looked like that. Like Texas came to take care of business and did it.
Yeah.
and it wasn't pretty, but they took care of business.
And you got it, like, imagine this. Imagine like you get a chance to go down a dirty old College Station, kick them in their hind parts, get on back to Austin a couple of hours later, knowing that I got an opportunity for the SEC championship. I got an opportunity to go get my get back against Georgia. I got an opportunity to earn a bye week. And A&M gets to go to a raggedy bowl game that nobody gonna watch. That like it don't get better than that. They get no SEC championship, they get no playoff, and they get another 8-win season.
Yeah, we checked a lot of boxes.
There's a lot of boxes got checks now.
All right, man. Well, we got tons of comments, so let's get into these. All right, shout out Chris B. Appreciate the sponsor comment. The Tex Eggs post-game chat is devastating. That should be a good read later. That's some good late night reading. Thanks to Bevo versus the World. Crank up Hill's mic. It's coming in softer than A&M's offense. It's not always the mic. Hill's dynamic and he moves around.
I move around too much. I apologize.
Oh, it's all good. From Quentin, hats off to Taaffe Daddy. Yeah, props to Taaffe. He had there was a lot going on pregame that shouldn't have been going on, and it was cool to see him have his moment.
I like and speaking of Taaffe, let's pause there for a second. Like, Taaffe closed down space and made open field tackles
That
on
first
a
tackle
dynamic quarterback.
on Reed was impressive.
And
I'm glad
did
you
it.
brought that
Oh,
up.
He
that's
did.
so true, man.
When they
I was
showed
like,
that angle,
He would have housed it without that
Do
tackle.
y'all know how hard it is to make an open field tackle on a dynamic ball carrier when he has a two-way go?
Yeah.
But that goes back to them knowing their assignment and being in position. If you a second late in that alley,
Yeah.
that's to the house.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Played inside out. Once he made the cut back inside, boom, was athletic enough to dive and wrap him up and get him on the ground. On the other side of the field, I want to say it's either that same drive or a couple of drives after. I don't really remember. It's early in the game. He tried to get out there. He had one on the outside. Taaffe came down like a missile.
Yeah.
Came down like a missile with having it on his mind and just, gave him a little love tap, let him know that he there.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, Taaffe playing ball. And then made a play on the ball.
Yeah.
Before you can have a 93-yard drive for a touchdown, you need a Taaffe pick. So, like, shout out to Mike, to the captain of the game.
Yeah.
Michael, that boy played some ball tonight.
Well, put it like this. Taaffe, as growing up, he's expressed how big of a Longhorn fan he was. He turned down offers from other schools to walk on to Texas. Wow. If anybody knew what this rivalry meant, it was Taaffe. If anybody was going to show up today, it was going to be Taaffe.
And shout outs to, while we're covering it, another Westlake kid, Ethan Burke's stop on 4th and goal was so big right there.
How do you forget to block Ethan Burke off the edge?
I mean, he had a couple
Biggest
plays
dude on
too.
the field.
there was one, I remember it was when Marcel Reed was rolling right. He's like, oh, good, I got a D end, I can outrun him. And then, but you you don't outrun Ethan Burke.
Yeah.
Like, we have so many guys on the field like that where I think the quarterbacks glance and they're like, oh, they see their number real quick. They're like, oh, I got him. And it's no.
You don't. You don't. You do not. With the right angle, we don't have an end that can't catch you.
Yeah. From Davis Briggins, huge ups to Gooseby. Even with the false start, came in and did great.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
His name wasn't called, so that means he did great.
Come on.
Like you think about that, right? You talk about, like, Oak called it earlier this week. He said that, we got a Quinn that's not 100% healthy. It's going to be on us to keep him upright. Yeah. He was pretty clean.
Yeah.
He was pretty. Now A&M
sacked once.
Now they heated him up and they brought pressure and he got. It's football. You're gonna get touched. You're gonna touch the ground a little bit. But listen, he had time back there when he was trying to push the ball down the field.
Yeah. From Jacoby Kirkhart, Vernon Broughton, big time plays. Yeah.
Big time.
We've given him a lot of love, and he deserves it. It was cool to see him have his
2
moment.
TFLs and 2 sacks.
Oh, man.
For inside
And a fumble recovery.
To seal the game. That lets you know that you run into the football.
Yeah.
I always say that. Whenever I see a fumble recovery by a big boy, it's the same thing like Alfred Collins when we were playing Arkansas, right? These guys are running, when he forced it, these guys are running to the football, right? That's effort. That's an effort play.
And notice whenever you have tackles, whenever I played in the league, even when I was at Texas or in the league, when defensive tackles make a lot of tackles, then the linebacker, we don't have as many. So it's not that, because you can look at it, they got 3 or 4 tackles, Leonga and Anthony.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we're happy for those guys because they don't get 8 tackles. That's not going to happen a bunch.
Right.
But they're going to still be disruptive and whatnot. So he had a big smile on his face. That was cool to see after the game.
That was good.
No, I'm just thinking, speaking of those backers, one of my favorite plays in this game was a combo tackle from Benda.
Oh, my goodness. It was like a wildcat. Yeah, it was a wildcat look. And they tried to Marcel went this way, but the runner went this way. And Benda did.
They closed
both
space.
of them. Boom! And tried to drag.
Space. One got the hip, one got the up top, and I'm like, man,
On that play too, we talk about the team speed and specifically on the defensive side of the football. The center was in position to climb up to Benda. Benda just scraped over the top so quick. Like what you gonna do so with that? Fast, you can't even block us.
Yep. you look at your coach and you say, "Don't call that no more." And coach gonna come to the sideline when they're making those adjustments. He gonna make it. You're gonna look on the little iPad. You're gonna see, yeah, coach, I know you telling me to climb up there, but when he stepped to his right there, I can't get to him. Don't call that no more. Don't call that no more.
We didn't give him a shout out. Leonga on a nice tip ball. Like they kept trying to get that zone read pass over. Like it was like a slant over the middle.
Yeah,
and
Leonga
it
had
kept
a good
getting
game.
tipped.
Oh yeah.
I'll be honest. I was a little bit not concerned, but I was like, are we gonna keep doing? Like whenever we were running our spies, they were stepping up so close to the line that like if they don't jump up and get this ball. It's so much space with these slants and these digs on the back end, and I don't know if one of them got completed. I was just like, "This is
well." If he would have stepped up on that, I think they showed that one aerial view. If like Reed would have stepped up on that one play, he had an easy deep ball, but
that's what and his development, right? When we'll see him again next year, and he'll be better. But there were times where had he not opted to run and just went through his progression, he probably had a couple of shots down the field, and we could have, who knows what would have happened. Yeah. But if you don't make the defense respect that, bro, it's gonna be a tough day.
Yeah.
You need something like sometimes you got to be able to throw that, not even for the completion, but just so they back up a little bit.
Yeah. From Mamba P, this one's directed at me. Also, Bert Auburn. Sorry it didn't work out for him, Nick. Well, hey, the season's not over. Bert's a solid kicker. Bert had a huge year last year. We're gonna need him if we're gonna make a championship.
Why did he
run.
say sorry it didn't work out for him? like we fired him or
Well,
something.
it's because he
Like
knows
the
I'm
season is over.
It's because he knows I'm president of the fan
Oh,
club.
got it. Sir, we will see him next week.
Yeah.
Bert's gonna have his moment.
Bert's gonna have his moment.
Unless we miss some play in the game. Let's see from Chris Bennett, December 5th, 1998, the last time Texas A&M played for a conference championship.
1998.
Yeah.
That was Fozzy's what? Sophomore, true sophomore? That was Fozzy, true sophomore. That was
strays when he's
that
not
was a
even
while
there.
ago, man.
Oh, man. He's in his car driving back. Like, come on, man. From Ethan Green, Quinn is so mentally tough. Wisner's the hero. Classy with a heart of gold, too, after hearing his post-game interview. Defense, defense, defense. And Sark kept it classy with the post-game celebration.
Damn, all true. All
He
true.
did. He did keep it classy, but I wanted us to plant that flag. I wanted us to get
we
some
stopped
steps
planting
in on the low.
flags.
We seen planting flags don't go to waste. We got
Too
too
bad
much.
occasions.
We don't need people getting pepper sprayed and
That's
and
fine. We
carry-
could have at least got a couple steps on the logo. Though.
Yeah. You want some steps on the logo?
Well,
man.
it got crazy in the North Carolina State game.
Yeah,
too.
they did. My
tried to
man,
play
he
flag.
pole vaulted one of the. You seen that? He threw the pole vault with one of the flags. Man. Like they were, boys been getting after it.
Crazy out there. From Drew Yanez, A&M had their first chance at SEC championship, and Big Brother showed up and showed them what's up.
I love that. Like they ran from the Big 12 because they didn't want to play us no more, screaming that it was unfair.
They
through
took their ball
recruiting
and
because
left.
we had Longhorn Network.
Yep.
Yep.
Only for us to go over to the SEC and say, "What's up, y'all? What y'all been up to?" Like, look,
Not even what's up, y'all.
Yeah.
Like, step to the side.
yeah, no, the crazy
we
part.
got this now.
A&M
gotta
response.
burn.
Now imagine
That's gotta
A&M
burn.
response like we like Texas is like, "What up, A&M? What you been up to?" A&M like, "Nah, the same 8 wins and all, just carrying on." Like
You don't understand how tough the SEC is.
Yeah, man, what are you talking about? The SEC is tough. It
is. It 100%.
It is
It
tough.
is
I will admit that. But sir, you are just not good enough.
Yeah.
Like that's what the truth is. Like,
Yeah.
You're not good enough for this.
That's good timing on this win too, with signing day coming on Wednesday.
Mm.
Like what a great moment for Texas, and to do it on a national level, pretty solid. From Chris Bennett, Texas gets another shot at Case McCoy's doppelganger, Carson Beck.
Oh.
I did see a side by side.
Yeah.
they look a lot alike.
I've never put them two together. That's
You should Google it.
I see-
There's a lot of
I see
Google.
a little resemblance.
Yeah. From Bevo versus the World, Aggies defensive players had phantom boo-boos all second half. They did.
Facts.
They were
Wore down.
getting some rest. Let's see. From Frank Huang, let's not forget the non-targeting call and Burke's 4th down stop. Hook 'em. Yeah, that was a big play. I was worried we were going to lose Makuba. I mean, they made the right call, but I was worried they weren't.
No, absolutely. And I like immediately. I like so much so that I started like immediately. I looked at the clock and I'm like, oh, okay, we losing the second half of this game, but we got them back for Georgia. Like that's in my mind they were going to call that.
Yeah.
I felt
Yeah.
the same way.
I did too.
I thought they was going to uphold the penalty. So it was a little surprising they picked it
But
up.
I mean,
was pretty
but
cute
like,
to see the Aggie
like you
reactions.
said, Oak, like stay consistent. They let them play football.
Yeah.
They let them play football.
No, that was big too, because to lose Makuba, but then would have been a big
Mm-hmm.
loss. Let's see, from Hector Martinez. Last year it was every game in the SEC is a dogfight, but this year it's Texas' schedule was a cakewalk. I agree with that, and I think the SEC is going to suffer in the playoff because of how competitive this league is. Like, you're getting teams that probably should be in there, the Alabamas, the Ole Miss, that probably aren't going to make it, and South Carolina better make it. I'm sorry. Like, watching how they played recently.
Yeah,
but
man.
you've got all these teams right on the edge because this league's so damn competitive.
Yeah.
That it's tough to get through it. So, and it's not leagues benefit now from being top heavy, where
Yeah.
you have a few teams that win a lot of the games and everybody else kind of stays bottom or lower. And
Yeah.
SEC's not that. From DCAR8, so A&M plays Mo Bamba's song. Yeah, I don't think they know that Mo Bamba
Went to Texas.
Like, why do they play that?
It's just the most A&M thing
Yeah.
that you can do.
Yeah.
Like, you ever seen some stuff and you're like, yeah, they over there Aggieing it up. Ain't they? Like, that's That's literally what I'm thinking when I see them do certain stuff. I'm like, I seen on Twitter they had like somebody recorded the pre-night Yale practice.
Oh gosh.
And it was my man walking back and forth, and he was like just doing the thing with the mic, and they was doing. I'm like, golly, they are into it. Like this is what they like. This.
How does that get you hyped for a game?
This is what gets you hyped.
That's their pep rally. Is some dude kicking his leg back? Going,
Yeah,
whoop.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. No, it's terrible. It is terrible.
They need more stuff to do out there.
And until next year, A&M.
Yeah.
Until next year.
Yeah, actually, that's a great point by that guy because their whole war hymn's about us, and their hype up song is Mo Bamba, which is about one of our players.
Yeah.
Solid.
You really love us.
It's on brand for
You really love us is what it is. You don't hate us at all. You really love us. You just want a hug.
Yeah.
It's like my kids when they get upset. I'm like, come give me a hug.
They just want their brother
Yeah,
to love them.
you just want to.
You think I'm cool, right?
You want to. You think I'm cool, right?
From Chris Bennett. Texas hasn't won back-to-back conference championships since winning the 94 and 95 Southwest Conference and 96 Big 12 championship. Wow. It's been a minute.
Got some opportunity ahead of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. From Darwin Lemon, does Taaffe get drafted? He makes plays. What do y'all think?
I think his film is going to give him an opportunity.
Yeah.
I think how he tests out
That's
is
I-
ultimately
yeah.
gonna, if he can wow people with the way that he tests out.
I don't know if he's gonna wow people with
That-
the test,
but that- like,
his
that's-
film wow.
he's-
You know,
gamer.
yeah, so
Yeah,
I'm
he's
saying
tough
like
and smart.
I can see him being a day 3 pickup for sure,
But-
especially if he performs better than what people anticipate throughout. You know, his 40, his air drill, his short shuttle, his vert, his broad, etc. Like if he proves that he's like the athlete, and then we know what kind of football player he is.
Yeah, even with the draft status, even if that goes well or not, Taff's gonna make it. 'Cause that's you know what I
Yeah,
mean.
yeah, he's gonna make a club.
Yeah, like that's
No, Taff gonna be on the
yeah.
Taff making
Oh,
a roster.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
that's not. Yeah, my man here want to know, does he get drafted? I'm like,
I'm with Jay. It's going to be his numbers. His testing is what's going to ultimately either get him drafted or have him as an undrafted free agent. But regardless, he's going to make a club.
yeah, like this time next year, Michael Taaffe will still be playing football.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's for sure.
yeah.
Is it a foregone conclusion that he's gone after this
I don't
season?
think it is. I think he has one more year.
I keep talking like he's gone. Yeah, because in my mind, you know, we win it all. He rides off into the sunset.
Yeah.
It
I mean,
just
he
it
did
just
walk,
makes
right?
sense.
He walked, right?
It just makes sense.
He wa-
Did he walk?
Yeah. Senior
I
night.
think he came out for senior night.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah,
that's,
he
that's
walked
right.
out.
I could very easily see him pulling a Jade and
Me
coming
too.
back for one more season just to buffer up that tape a little bit.
Yeah. From Chris Pavola, thanks for the sponsored comment. And I'll say this first question. I spend half my week tracking on the internet where Derrick Johnson's clothing items came from. And because half the time I don't want to text him and be like, hey,
Yeah.
where's your shirt? Where's your hoodie from? Because every damn question on the internet is, we just need to have Derrick's fit is going to be a post. And
That's because DJ got
That's funny.
DJ got like a special Hall of Fame kind of situation. I bet he don't even buy this stuff. It just gets
Maybe
sent
just
to
send
him.
it to him.
Yeah.
If
No,
I, you know,
I will give a shout out to DJ. We put, and we'll talk about this later. We put our hats up. Shout out to Last Stand Hats for making our hats. DJ bought one of the hats. He sent me a screen cap. Mike sent me a screen cap, and then DJ bought one.
Yeah.
And,
That's what's up.
Much love, man.
Yeah.
And so question one, DJ, where'd you get your current hat?
oh man, I really don't know.
I feel like
man.
I answered that earlier in the
feel like-
year.
I hate to give my. I don't know. I don't know.
I'll look it up because I think
Jay
we.
holding out, man.
Yeah,
He
I
tired.
know. He tired of giving out.
DJ got a Mitchell and Ness hat talking about, I don't know. I don't know.
I think we answered it earlier. I think we did.
DJ gonna give you some pieces, but he ain't gonna give you the whole book.
Yeah. He doesn't want everybody taking his wardrobe.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And then he says, when did y'all know this game was over? And for him, it was halfway through the third quarter.
No,
Ooh,
first half. At halftime, I was like, this is. I just don't. They couldn't move the ball.
Right.
So I was like, how are they gonna?
Right. It wasn't like going into halftime. I didn't feel like we got a couple of lucky breaks or
No.
the momentum was going back up. It was domination.
Yeah.
It was complete domination, right? And the tough part about it is that doesn't stop. Like, Texas ain't going to just forget how to play defense. Like, that doesn't stop. You got to make that stop. And I knew they were going to be unable to do that for the same reason we were talking about in the pregame. I'm like, what they want to do on offense does not work against our defense. Styles make fights. This is not a good fight for them, stylistically. Now, I thought that if we could play clean and not give them nothing, then, you know, it could get ugly. And we gave them a little bit. We gave them more. Like, think about it. Like, again, I can't get over this. That offense came into this game and left this game without ever touching that end zone. Like,
That's crazy.
Like, it's hard to win football games without scoring touchdowns on offense.
Well, and the next comment.
Well, I want to say, for me, I knew this game was going to get ugly for A&M whenever we came out running the football. Like, this Texas team, if we can effectively run the ball, I like us against anybody in the country. If we, from the first quarter, if we can come out and get – boom, 5 yards, boom, 6 yards, and consistently get that from the first quarter, I don't think anybody can beat us.
Yeah. Well, and you can tell Sark still has this little bit of wanting to be who we were on, like, the first drive where it's the short passes, et cetera. And then finally we start running the ball, and it's like, oh, yeah.
But I love it. I love it, too, because, like, whenever we go deep, it's more calculated now.
Yeah.
Like, we're only – this game we went deep about 4 or 5 times. So, like, that's all you need whenever you're running the ball effectively, bring the defenders up. Now you got 3 to 5 deep passes. Yeah. That's us.
Well, and this is the next comment. Marco Avila says, take away the missed field goal right before half, the pick six, and the fumble, and the final score is 34-0.
Yeah, I wish football worked like that.
Me too.
I wish it worked like that. But I mean, that's a really good point, Mark. And I think that because that did not happen that way, I think you're gonna get a Texas team that's not necessarily patting themselves on the back.
Yeah.
But they know that, like,
Which is good.
Yeah, which is great. We there's a lot more left out there.
Yeah. From Chris B, Taaffe is my GOAT. Yeah. I mean, kid's a stud.
Yeah.
From J Ray 626, Trevor Gooseby held it down. Yeah. Shout outs to that kid to come in. We talked about that. Chris Bennett, Elko in his post game said they physically annihilated us. Oh, so I think they're saying Texas.
Yeah, I agree.
Texas. Okay,
Yeah.
I thought the way it was said.
But that and that was my point, right? They had it on their mind. You know they did. That's what they want to do. That they were going to come out and be more physical than us.
Yeah.
They were going to be more physical than us, and that's how energy on 10. That's how the game started, with them trying to be more physical than us.
Yeah.
There's nothing more physical than stopping the run and running the football. Yep. And I think that as that run game started going, you just started to feel that, oh, y'all don't punch as hard as you think.
Yeah.
And then it just didn't stop. 33 totes, man.
And by the way, this little guy punches harder than any of y'all. Trey Wisner.
33 carries.
Also, too, even I think of a play, that fourth down stop by Sorrell, like just him ragdolling that tight end and making the play, like just plays
early
like,
too. Like,
you're never supposed, as an end, you're never supposed to get blocked one-on-one by a tight end. But when you can ragdoll somebody and send a message like that,
They had the ball on the 1
yeah.
inch line and couldn't score.
No, listen, whenever, it's just disappointing. Imagine as an adult young man, there's another adult young man making you go ways that you didn't. He don't want to do this. This is not what he want to do, and he ain't got no choice. Yeah. Like, what's that do to your psyche? I'm gonna get him next time. No, you're not.
Ain't no next time.
No, you're not.
Next time you're cutting.
Yeah, next time you're gonna throw on my knees. That's what you're gonna do next time. We won the battle in the trenches.
Who was it that was it Trey Moore that like suplexed the running back? I thought he was going to get like an unnecessary.
I thought he was going to get that too.
Because he just
Yeah.
It was nasty. From Chris B, this game felt old school, and I was a freshman at Texas when we played the Aggies in 2011. Attended the last Hex rally. Fozzy Whitt spoke to us.
That was Fozzy's.
So was Fozzy a coach?
No, yeah, Fozzy was a grad assistant. Fozzy was a grad assistant by that time.
I love it. From Scott in Texas, I hope this win translates to a big recruiting class this week. Yeah,
it will.
Oh, no doubt.
It will.
I would be surprised if we don't have the top, if not one, maybe 3 at the lowest recruiting class this year.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Like, what position do you play that you don't feel like this scheme puts you in position to win? Yeah. Right. You look at what we've done in the draft the last 2 years, from the multiple players that have gotten drafted. Yeah. Right. If you're a running back, Keelan Robinson, Bijan Robinson, Roshan Johnson, JB, right? That's going to continue to go on. Your wide receiver, X.
Yeah.
Why am I dropping his name right now?
Jay Witt,
AD.
Mitchell. Yep.
Yeah,
Jay Witt.
Jay Witt, yeah.
You know, you're looking, and now you're going to have Matthew Golden. You're going to have Isaiah Bond. You're going to have these guys go, right? You're a tight end.
I'm with you. You're going to get featured in this offense.
You're
if
going
you
to
a
get
tight
featured
end.
in this offense. And if you happen to play defense, how do you not want to play defense over here right now?
Number one in the nation. Yeah.
Right?
This is nasty. From Chris B, this show is consistently the best insiders and ex-players every week. That's awesome. Thank you. From T. Matea, Aggie defenders were physically whipped by our offensive line. Yep. Chris Bennett, Taaffe said he took the Jake Ellinger sign at game day personally. He definitely did. Good. Deserve it. That's the big thing.
Yeah,
We're not even
terrible.
going to get into that.
Yeah, that
It
was
doesn't
terrible.
deserve its
That's trash.
moment.
And please, people, stop retweeting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
Get it off the timeline.
Yeah, I don't want to see that anymore. From Balta Cano, do y'all think the play calling was a little vanilla? Maybe trying not to show too much for the SEC
That's
championship.
us now. This is us now.
Yeah.
Yep. Hey, Jay, why you smiling down there?
Yeah, no, man. I think like in a game like this where it's literally just don't give them nothing, right? They're like, I don't know if it was vanilla, but it was effective. I'm calling effective plays. I mean, you know what I mean? Like
I think at this point we're just trying to win. I don't think we're playing coy. I just think we're playing to win.
There's no such thing as style points at this point in the season.
From Darwin Lemon, that catch by Blue though, yeah, it's pretty spectacular. Yeah. Davis Briggins, almost 35 minutes of possession. These boys eat the time. It's phenomenal. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So we got the SEC championship coming up.
Yeah.
Yep.
We got the SEC championship
Be a
coming
good
up.
one. I'm excited.
Yeah, we gotta get our get back.
Yeah,
We
we
gotta
got
get
to get to a few more, and then we'll let everybody go to bed. Let's see. From RC, watching y'all from Japan, stationed overseas. Thank you for your service. Game started at 9:30 in the morning. Shout out to the defense and just grinding with the run game. Old school football. Yeah. Shout outs to you. Appreciate you. From Chris Bennett, SMU is playing for a conference championship before Aggie. SMU can play some ball.
That's why the Pony Express.
From the Commodian, thanks for the sponsor comment. Great game, fellas. SEC champ next weekend. George on our mind. Thanks to Little Bro for the game. Let's see. AS85, AO Span here. Suit back up for the postseason.
Who was that? He said Span?
Span.
Shout out Austin Span, man. It's been a while.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love this. From Starch Manning. Texas can beat Georgia in the championship, but can they beat somebody? Oh, right. Who cares? Keep winning. Great defensive effort. Great first half. Wisner O-line. Third mean performance in a row. Yeah. And let's talk about, before we get out of here, the Arch Manning snarl. I like this. That he came, did you see this? Where he came to the sideline just like he had this like
I must
snarl.
have missed that one.
Yeah, no, you'll see it on the
He had a stank face
on the
on?
World Wide Webs. Oh yeah, he
Nah,
definitely
that
did.
kid, I mean, you could tell he loved ball.
He's a dog.
He loved ball.
I'm excited. Like DJ said, I'm excited to see what that not Wildcat package, but the Arch package is going to look like next week.
The Wild Manning.
Oh my God.
Shout out to Impious for the sponsor comment. It seems like we have 16 plus possible draft picks now. Damn.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
And our last comment from Chris B. Thank you for Chris B for all the sponsor comments. To answer all the host questions, it's real, it's now, it's happening. We are exactly that relevant, and we are that important. See y'all on ATL. So I think that's a good place to wrap up. We'll be back this week with the preview show. Also, another special little surprise probably coming this week that we'll tell you all about later. The SEC Championship is next Saturday. I believe it's at 4 p.m., so we'll be previewing that. We've got shirts for sale now. We got hats for sale now. So you guys get your stuff in. It'll be good Christmas presents. We'll start to have those. We'll start to be wearing some of those on the show. And yeah, that's all I got this week. Anybody else have anything before we get out of here?
No.
Good night.
baby.
Yeah,
Good night.
Yeah,
Good night. We did what we were supposed to do.
Hook 'em, baby.